What's up guys? This video is going to be a little update of sorts. I've been doing these a bit recently and I figure it's time for another one. This one I'm going to talk about my most recent competitions, which would have been US Nationals about a month or so ago, as well as the whole West Coast Cubing Tour. I guess I could wrap that up into one thing. I'll also talk a bit about my last competition in Sydney, and then I'll mention a bit about the cubing coaching stuff, which I think most people are looking to hear about, so if you want to skip to that I'll leave a timestamp somewhere. Or if I forget to, someone else will, because people are cool like that. And then after that I might talk a little bit about Australian Nationals, but that's pretty much going to be the vlog, so let's get started. First things first, so there was the West Coast Cubing Tour and US Nationals. Obviously, you know, the world record fail sucked, blah blah blah. Other than that, I still had a really good time. I don't regret going. I'm really glad I went. Had a ton of fun with Chris, Felix, Max, Sarah, you know, just about everyone that was there. Made the experience more than worth it. And even still, I'm really happy with a lot of the PBs I got, most notably getting a sub 5 in 3x3. I got a low 8 in one-handed at the comp just before Nationals. I got a couple good big cube improvements, so there were some PBs there. I think my favourite of those was probably the 240 and 7x7. I don't have a sub 3 at home, so that's why I'm pretty pleased about that. And I think one of my favourite things, even though I didn't do well in the final, I'm really glad I made the 3x3 final this time. For those of you who don't know, when I attended Nationals in 2016 over in the States, I got 17th place in the semis. So I was the fastest person who didn't make the final, essentially, and that was a big bummer, because making that final was a big goal of mine, and you know, being that close just kind of sucks. But yeah, so that was pretty much my US Nationals experience, and also the West Coast Cubing Tour. You know, Chris Olsen has a really good vlog if you want to check that out. I really like how he did that, put that together. Sydney. Okay, so a couple weeks back there was a competition in Sydney. I didn't really film anything. I think a couple kids might have filmed my finals average, but yeah, I don't have anything I can post. I'm still happy with how I did. It was just kind of a nice day trip, getting to basically hang out with all the Australians I haven't seen in a long time. I got first in 3x3, obviously, because, you know, I'm sick and Felix wasn't there. Got 3 sub 8 averages for the second time now, and this time it was a little bit better than last time because all of them was sub 7.9. On top of that, I think my worst sub of the whole comp was like a 9.9, so I don't think I've ever pure sub 10'd in 3 rounds. Other than that, I got first in one-handed. I got a couple 12 averages. I don't think they were all sub 13, unfortunately. I won 4x4, I got third in blind. And yeah, I'm mentioning local podiums because now I'm not good enough to win or podium at Nationals in America. Oh no. No, it's okay. I don't mind. So yeah, that was Sydney. So that's pretty much everything in terms of competitions I've done recently. And now a bit about the coaching. So I decided to discontinue it. This is just because there's been a lot of stuff happening in my personal life, not like mental health related, but more so just being legitimately busy. And on top of that, with cubing, I do like to spend a lot of my time practicing to get better and not so much, you know, either doing streaming that takes out a lot of time and makes me unable to practice the way I want. Even things like video making, they can take up a bit too much time. So that's part of the reason I've been so active with the videos. It's just the time spent making videos is time that I could spend practicing, and since I don't have as much of it, I do like to use what little I have. But enough about that. So coaching is coming back. Previously I had basically 2 services and then a negotiation scale between the 2. The first one was coaching over Skype, where you would send me multiple videos of you solving, I would critique it, and then we would have weekly calls where we would basically talk about, you know, where you're at and what you can do to improve. And also during those calls I would also like to go through, in the case of 3x3, I would do 3x3 scrambles with them. They'd tell me what they see, what they don't see. I would, you know, kind of show them what I see, and if they do something I think is worth correcting or noting, I would, you know, do that. So that was the big service, and that's the one I don't really have time to do now. But the other one I had was just a strict video analysis service where, so the previous one was 150 USD per month, and then the video analysis was 50 US for just a one-off critique. And that one, I do still have time to do technically, because the thing is, time zones don't interfere the whole Skype call thing. And on top of that, people usually don't need their analysis back in less than a week or something, so depending on how busy this gets, I could realistically keep that up as a little side business. So that's what I'm going to do. So at the moment, the price is 50 USD for an average of 5. Pardon me. Just ate food. And that applies to most events. I think for events like 6 and 7, we'll just make it 50 USD for like a meet of 3 or something like that. Pardon me, so rude. Gosh. As for prices going up, I don't know when they will, but I know that they indeed will. So you do want to get in while it's hot. 50 USD for an average of 5, that's the equivalent of like, I don't know, working 3 hours at McDonald's for a day. So, I mean, I consider it a pretty good deal, is I guess my point. So that's pretty much where the coaching thing's at. I will be accepting offers for new clients who want to have an average of 5 critiqued. As always, just like send me a message to my Facebook page if you're interested in that. Either that or Instagram, although I'm much more likely to miss it if you send on Instagram, for the sole reason that if I'm not following you on Instagram, it goes into like a separate folder, which is just kind of an annoying feature that I don't know how to fix. But yeah, that's the best way to contact me, and you know, once we decide, you know, what we want to do, I'll give you my email from PayPal and also email me the solves. Oh, that's another thing I should mention. Be able to film your solves such that the camera is like over your right shoulder. Basically the way I film my solves at home, if you've seen my last video, you know, I'm alive, the 6 average of 12. Basically that general kind of angle. It doesn't have to be the right shoulder, it can be the left. Or it can even just be point of view with like a GoPro camera, but basically an angle where I can very clearly see what you're trying to do. Other than that, the quality doesn't have to be that high, even as low as like 240, like I can see what you're doing with that as long as the lighting isn't, you know, completely off and like it's close enough to the cube. So you don't have to send me anything in like 4K or anything. And then the only other thing is, depending on the event of course, I do appreciate being able to follow along with the scrambles. Obviously not as important for say like 5x5 or something like that, but for 3x3, definitely include the scrambles. That'll help my analysis quite a lot. And yeah, that's about it for the coaching stuff. Now, the last thing I want to mention is Australian Nationals. That'll be my next competition. That's happening the first weekend of October. I need to stop burping. Fucking hell. It'll be the first Australian Nationals that's had every event, so that's kind of exciting. And it's also happening in Canberra where I live, so I don't have to travel that far, so that's also kind of exciting. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, looking forward to going, looking forward to seeing people, looking forward to, I don't know, getting PBs, winning some stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say for this video. I guess thanks for watching. I don't know what kind of content I'll be having coming out soon, because again I'll be dedicating a lot of that time to just practicing or doing my analysis service, which you should definitely check out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. And so will my friend Kim.